I've got a Kizer here, but it is not in this box. Nope. Yeah, it's a used piece that came to me with no box. It is a Vindicator, Kizer Vindicator. Full titanium, S35VN, and look at all this stunning milling. Like they had a few models at this time frame that had this wonderful scalloping done to it, and this one's got it. Yeah, so the knife was represented in overall pretty good shape. And, looking at it, I'm going to agree with that. I can't make up my mind if it's been sharpened or not. I believe it has, only because this doesn't really appear to be a factory edge up here to me. But I could be wrong. It's not obvious. I don't see any wear in the normal places. The pocket clip looks solid. The knife definitely looks dirty. I believe it to have, it's made it into a pocket a time or two. There's like a snail trail here. There's a snail trail here. There's a couple more in this area. Yeah, so I mean, the knife is not pristine. Solid lockup. Wonderful action. The blade is centered. Yep, but it does have a flaw, and it's right here. It's got a fair piece of detent lash here. And I'm going to see if I can take it out, but, ooh, I mean, there's not a lot of options, man. Once that happens, depending on why, it could be, you can't get rid of it. Now, I will say that it's only down there. This lock is solid. It's only locking up about 25%, 25%. But, I mean, it's like a trap door. That thing is super locked up. It's got wonderful action. It's just down on this end. And unfortunately, I think it's because the hole for the detent ball is too big. Yep. Because I can look down there and that looks really seated. It's not that it's not seated. The other thing is I can put pressure on this lock and I still have that. So, I mean, I believe the detent ball is down in the hole. It's just the hole's too big. Yep. And so, I believe it's just to be something that's not going to be remedied in the knife. The only way to remedy that, if that hole's too big, I can try to push the detent ball out of the knife a little bit so that it becomes larger as it comes out. Maybe that will resolve it, and we may try to do that. But yeah, what a cool piece, man. What a cool piece. And it's a unicorn. So when, looking for these older knives, whether it's Kizer or whoever it is, it's not unusual to be loved by anyone. No, wait. It's not unusual to, find a little hiccup. And this one's got a little one. Doesn't affect the action. Doesn't affect the lockup. Doesn't affect the ergonomics. The only thing it affects is when the knife's in hand, I can feel it here in the flipper tab, which is large to say the least. There's no jimping on it, but man, is it big. Tall, flat grind blade. Beautiful. I mean, what a wonderful piece, man. Well, let's get it apart. We're going to get up in there, get a look-see on the inside of this piece, and, you know, I'm thinking that's a T10. You know, that's the other thing is some of these old ones, man, they can throw you. All of a sudden, you know, you T8 on everything. Yeah, that's a T10. I don't think that's captured, but it held. Interesting. And then I believe everything else is a T6. Now, whenever I get a used piece like this in that's been carried, pocketed, whatever, I most likely will put it in the ultrasonic, give it a good bath, really clean it up nice, get it as nice as I can. Yeah, and this one, I can tell already looking at it that it's going to end up there as well. It's kind of cruddy. And it's little things like even, you know, the shafts on stuff. I'm pretty sure I'm going to find it on the pivot as well. But yeah, it's pretty gunky. Maybe the original grease that they packed it with. I don't know that it's necessarily been apart. But, you know, that's the thing about that grease is it's pretty cool stuff. But, I mean, leave it in a knife for 10 years. You know, 8 years, 7 years, however long this thing's kind of been floating around out there. And it can turn to junk, right? Yeah, I'm going to pull this here. I kind of want to see. There we go. I think I'll pull the pocket clip too. I'm going to give it a bath. I might as well give it a good bath. Clean all the hardware and, you know, it'll all get, you know, it's one of the things with that ultrasonic, you know, you put really good hot water in there, and then I use Dawn. They make chemicals for it, but I find that Dawn, I mean, put that in that bath, things come out just wonderful. So that detemp ball is not quite 50% out of there, which is kind of the norm, but I wanted to lay it on the blade and see if I could feel movement. If it's completely flat on the blade like that right there, it's completely flat on the blade. And so now I want to see if I've got, yeah, so it's just, the hole's too big. Ooh, pardon me. So the one hope, the last hope that I have is that I can coax that detemp ball forward a little bit to get it out of there. And if I can do that, it may grab on, but boy, there's enough there that I'm not sure that that's going to happen. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all this in the ultrasonic, and when we come back to this knife, we'll be back on the bench here with all this cleaned up really well. All right? So that's where we're at. Let's go clean some stuff. All right, so we are back from the bath, and I know I'm repeating myself, but oh my goodness, that ultrasonic, man. If you're going to get into used knives or guns, they're almost, to me, I don't know how I ever got along without them. I mean, I know I would soak the firearms in cleaner and, you know, try to get years of use or whatever off of them. But this hardware, it just leaves it looking like brand new stuff. Yeah, takes all the grime and gets rid of it. It's pretty cool. So there's another thing I did here. When I cut the video, I pulled the metal insert and I knocked the detent ball out. And so I knocked that out of there quite a bit. And so we'll see if that resolves our detent lash. I hope it does. And it's possible that it will. But no guarantees. Because it was pretty sloppy. That's all I can say. Now, in the big scheme of things, does it ruin the knife for me? No, it doesn't ruin the knife because it's only present when it's in a closed position. You know, when this knife is open, it's locked up wonderfully. All right, let's put that metal insert back in there. Okay. A little backspacer. Bunch of raw, wonderful titanium. This scalloping, man, so good. I mean, the more I dig into these old Kizers, the more I'm kind of left going, why don't they keep making this? Surely they could sell these. I think I'm going to need some help from the other side on that. But let's get one of these back screws in. There we go. So we got a balance between the front and the back. Yeah, we're not quite tight. I'm going to get some help here. Is that T10? Yeah, that's T10. Ooh, I'm glad I didn't torque on that. There we go. Strong detent now. Of course, it's because of that ball. But let's see. Moment of truth. I mean, it's all but gone. I mean, it is really locked in there solid. It's got a strong detent now because that ball, I mean, it's buried in that hole. But it got rid of that detent lash. How about it? Yay. Come on. Well, and especially for a piece like this isn't going in my pocket. It does, the more I looked at it, it does show some wear on these scales. I mean, the knife definitely was carried. And it shows. It's got some use snail trails on it up in here. You know, you can see it, but it's not going to get carried no more. Yep, light use. Carried slightly, and then became a case queen. Yep. Couple of pocket clip screws and we're home. We'll finalize a check-in on it. All right. I mean, even the pocket clip is legit. I mean, come on, look at this thing. Very nice. All right, let's get rid of the tools. Tools. Drop shut. Super snappy. I mean, kind of, sort of overdone on the detent snappy side. But it's either that or detent lash, so blade centered. Yeah, no lash. Wonderful. Very snappy, and I don't think it'll fail. It's going to pop out of there. Yeah, no way. No way to fail that. So wonderful action. Drop shut. I mean, it's A-level action, no doubt. Stock ergonomics, not so confident, very confident. Yeah, this thing's just going to ride right up to the very confident side because of this huge finger tab. I mean, it's like a bolster. I mean, completely confident. Look at this thing. Woo, nice. This is kind of odd because that's kind of sharp. I'm not sure what's the purpose of this. Interesting, but it's kind of sharp, so you don't want to be putting your thumb on that and then going down. Like you can see, it's kind of ruined the reverse grip, but the forward grip, it's got excellent jimping here for the thumb, and then the hand just melts in this, no doubt about it. Wonderful ergonomics on this knife. Let's check that pocket clip. How well does it do? Let's start with the jean stuff. Yeah, it's perfect. Look at that look. I mean, yeah, you already know somebody's got that sticking out of their pocket. It's custom. It's like, look at that. It's a custom production knife. Wonderful. Very cool. Excellent tension. Let's see if it'll get the big stuff. I don't think so. I'm not going to force it. Try one more time. Try to get down here on the virgin seam. Nah, we'll leave it be. All right, so blade contact. Nope. Tip. Nope. So the clip's okay. It's wonderful in jean size material. The thicker stuff, not so much. So the clip's good. The tip is good. And I'm confident I can handle this knife any way, especially now that detent lash is managed, and not cut myself. As long as the blade is closed, this knife is safe. Now, this edge was kind of a question mark. I may have to put an edge on it. Looking at it, I cannot tell if that's a factory edge, but we're about to find out if it's sharp. Ooh. Yeah, it's got some things going on. All right, well, let me strop it first, and then we'll see where we're at. Okay, a little strop work. Now, it's either going to run really well, or I'm going to reprofile it. Yeah, all right, I'll be back. Okay, well, I learned my lesson a couple of times, but I learned it recently on another piece. That the right thing to do is to just get after it with a legit grit. So I'm going heavy grit. I'm going to reprofile it in just a couple of passes and just work my way through it rather than trying to go easy and baby step my way into it. I'm just gonna get after it. Let's get the reprofiling out of the way as quick as we can. Yeah, I'm gonna say definitely not a factory edge because it's uneven and kind of funky up here at the tip, which is where most people lose their sharpening, is when they come around that corner with a fixed system, a belt system, a stone, where people get lost the most. Including me. Yeah, so if you see, I have a very even edge now across that blade. But when you get up here, you can see that, see right there, that top part right there, that was the previous edge. I have not sharpened down to that. So they got really flat before right there. And so now my question is, I've got a consistent edge, but do I want to take that out? And I think I do. I don't think I want to leave that because I don't like the way it looks. Now, am I going to have to remove material to get to that? I am. But I don't like it. Now, one of the things I can do, because right now I'm set up for a narrow convex edge. So not a real wide one. And so what I can do, I want to get this belt out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. I can move this to the middle or all the way down so that that convex edge is wider. And so that's what I'm going to do. It's just, I'm going to put a wider edge on it than what I've got. And I think another thing I'm going to do to help me is I'm going to drop the angle a little bit. I was at 17. I'm going to go to 16. And so my edge is going to be a little wider, but I won't have to remove as much of this material here to get that correct. Yeah, the only thing I can do now is just keep going. I gotta get it. I mean, I got a ways to go to get that, so I'm gonna pause the video and come back once I'm in there. Gotta be careful about building up food here. And if I'm not there with this rough belt, there's no reason to change the belt. Now at some point it makes sense for me to flip and go to the other side so that I create some level of an even bevel on that edge. Because it's going to get so far off even, it already is. It's way off center because I took, 10 passes or so on that other side. So I'll even it up. And then I'll keep working. And since I'm removing so much material, I'm going to speed it up. It will aid in keeping the blade cool. I find it doesn't create as much heat if I add some speed to it. Yeah, I'm evened up now. And this side looks pretty good. Not perfect, but it's looking pretty good. Almost. I'll probably trade sides now. Move that majority of that heat from side to side a little bit. This side's good. This side is oh so close. I'm going to go 2 more passes. All right, let's look at it together. So you can see that consistency of the width of that bevel now. And when we come up here, you don't see the polished part like that old bevel. I've gotten through it. And now it's a deep convex edge. I mean, it's as deep as I can go. And then the tip is even. Yeah. All right, so let's start lowering belt grits, and we'll shine that up. I mean, we are reprofiled. We've got a burr that's been bouncing back and forth, and so now we're just removing scratches. We're just refining things. I'm going to skip my 100, and I'm going to go to the 65 and take a pass. I didn't intend for this to be a polishing or a sharpening video, but it's here, so it is what it is. So these are still the stiff blades, or the stiff belts from the Worksharp stiff belt kit. And I really like them. I definitely recommend if you get this one or the other belt sharpener, get the stiff belt kit, because these stiff belts are legit. I like them a lot. And the more you sharpen with this kit, the more you see how those are beneficial when you're working. So I'm going to skip the 45 and I'm going to go to the 22. Yeah. I'm still kind of fumbly changing the belts out. And I don't think it's the machine's fault. It's just I have so much muscle memory from the old machine that I keep trying to do it the old way. My hands keep going to those positions. This is the last of the stiff belt kit belts. I run it twice. Yeah, ooh, that's pretty. All right. Well, we're gonna get rid of these. I figured I can consider these my heavy belts, and then I move to my light belts, which start with my 3M Trizac belts. I've got a 800 that I'm going to do, and then 1,000, and then a 1,200. Just 1 or 2 passes on each. Now, these are not stiff belts. These flex quite a bit when you run the blade through them. And so they really promote that convex edge. Especially with me being as wide as I am with that wheel. I'm on the widest convex edge that I can produce. Next, I got 1,000 grit. Yeah, looking pretty ridiculous at this point. Now the last 3M Trizac belt, it's a 1200 grit. And man, I like these belts. And I would buy a new set, except I can't find them. If one of you have a source for them, be sure to let me know. Yeah, we're starting to be polished up now. Alright, now we're down to the last belts, and they are super fine grit. I've got the first one I go to is a 3000 grit, and these right here, these next belts, are part of the kit that come with the machine. And these last belts, I don't remember seeing them promo these belts for what they're truly capable of. But they will mirror polish a belt. Now I'm going to step up the speed on this belt as well. So really all I'm doing at this point is I'm polishing. I am dealing with any micro bevel that might be hanging around there. But really, I'm just removing scratches at this point. And then my 6000, which is a purple belt. And then our final belt. Which is a 12,000. And one more kick up. We're really going to sing this one across the blade. Okay, we just got to wipe it. A little towel work. And then let's see what we were able to produce. I mean, sure looks good. The paper will tell us. The paper reveals all lies. What do you think? Yeah, it's crazy sharp. Like, and it's convex, so it's a tough edge. How about it? All right, enough of all that sharpening stuff, man. Whew. I had to do it, though. I mean, it's too cool of a knife to just leave it dull. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna get this out of it. I'm gonna get the bench set, and we'll wrap up. Okay, let's wrap up. Well, I think that was everything. It just wasn't sharp, right? So the last thing is price and availability. And man, that's why I took a run at this thing, because this Vindicator, I have never seen one before. I'm not saying that it's a unicorn, but it sort of is to me. I had never witnessed one before. Stonewashed S35 VN, this wonderful scalloped and milled titanium, and the pocket clip. I mean, pretty awesome, and it's pretty lightweight. It's not a big heavy duty knife. This one had some detent lash, but I mean, I knocked the ball out and got it running pretty good. Hey, I appreciate y'all going for the ride, and yeah, till the next one. See ya.